Hello and welcome to another game of AOC, and this is one of the biggest games, well, debatably one of the best 3v3 Arabias ever played. It is the Japan vs China playoffs, and let's speed things up and have a look at the teams quickly and get into it, because I haven't watched it yet, but when someone says it's debatably one of the best games ever played, that should be enough. Honestly. So let's have a look at who we have. We have Mr. Iori playing in blue as the Huns. Over in purple, pink, mauve, whatever colour you want to call it, we have SWJ, a Cloudy CN, who is playing as the Chinese. And in red, we have SWJ Windy, who will be playing as the Mongols. And that's Team 1. Team 2, playing in green, we have BSK Dirty, who will be playing as the Huns. In the yellow, we have CSI Hum, who is playing as the Mongols, and in the teal, we have BSK Helen. So, we should be up for a pretty good game, honestly. It's a Mongols, Huns, Chinese, which are probably some of the best civilizations out there for this type of game. As we know, Chinese do get a good bonus, starting with the 6 villages. Huns don't need their houses, and Mongols, well, Mangadai pretty much go unchecked by anything, except really elite skirmishers, but then again, they're related to cavalry archers, so they have that speed on them, so they can outmaneuver the elite skirmishers quite easy. Siege, yes, you can use it against them, but they have a bonus against it, so they can take them out even faster than cavalry archers. So it's going to be quite a good game, honestly, especially to see, and something I'll just note straight away is, when you play in a team game like this, usually the person in the pocket, so we're talking about CSI Come in yellow, and for the other team, SWJ Cloudy, they will usually fast castle. That's usually how team games like this go. There will be the pocket player, which will fast castle. Go for those knights really quickly. Chinese, definitely possible. And what did we have here? Was it Mongols? Definitely possible again. And then you'll see there's two side guys. So we'll probably see SWJ Windy and Dirty lock into feudal fight. And we'll probably see Mr. Iori and Halen go in for a war against each other in feudal as well. That's just how these games tend to play out. Every now and then you get everyone fast castling, or you might just get, say, 2 of them going at it and the others fast castle. You might even just get 2 of them go at it and just the other 2 stick in their bases with feudal units and 2 fast castle. It's really open to different strategies. It's really a lot of the reason that people love playing team games like this, just because there's so much you can do. But generally the play is one person on 1 or 2 depending on the pocket players, if it's a 4v4 or a 3v3 of course. But pocket players generally fast castle, others generally lock into a feudal war and try and wear down their opponents. Once the other person reaches castle age, they'll come in with knights or siege depending on what's really necessary, generally knights though. And they will then try and start pushing. Thing as well though, Aztecs and Maine, they don't generally get knights, which is just a thing with them. So usually you can see mass crossbows out of them. You can even see fast imp out of them on occasion. So all players starting to go up to about feudal age now, which is pretty decent. All players are flaring around, of course, just because that's just about how things go. Because as we know, communication is key. So let's speed things back up and have a quick look. We do see the barracks going out for Halen and the archery range. So it looks like Halen's going to be going for the feudal war. Over here we do have the barracks and the archery range going up, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a feudal war between Halen and Iori, so we're right on that retrospective. Dirty as well going up with the archery range. What are we seeing from Windy? Double archery range play from him, so no doubt he's going to get the barracks up soon as he starts to get some units out in play. Spearmen being created as well, which we don't see a lot of recently. I believe this is quite an old game, honestly, mostly because the fact it's got Halen in it, but you know, I could be completely wrong unless it's just chilling out somewhere. And putting the palisade on the wolf. This is the thing, I don't think a lot of people actually know this, but if you actually put a palisade on a wolf like this and you walk past with a villager, the wolf will not attack you. So there's something to note if you don't know that. It is a glitch in the game, a bug. I don't know if it's being fixed in Forgotten Empires, but there you go, that's something that'll really interest you. In fact, I'll try and watch these skirmishes when they go past, just so you can see the fact that that's how things work. It's kind of cool. And what are we seeing from all players over here? Anything interesting going on? Have we seen a market or anything? No. Going out with a stable, actually. And could be going for the fast castle, but let's have a quick look if I can find you in the thing. There we go. Definitely getting the resources too. Blacksmith is going down. We do have the stable going down, so yes, we will be seeing a fast castle there. Fast castle on this side too, by the looks of it, so let's just swap over and check those resources. What are we seeing? Quite low on the resources, actually, which is really interesting. What are you doing? Why are you not doing anything? There we go. So he's already hit castle. That's the reason why he's not doing anything. Alright, so let's have a look at this. What do we have? We can see right now that the wolf is actually in the exact same place and got killed on that palisade, which is cool. But we can now see we've got Halen moving out across the map. Over here we see a little bit of scout combat going on. And Windy trying to get some harassment in, but not really getting anything by the looks of it. Which is interesting. Green, what are you up to? Looks like Green is about to start moving out with these archers. However, over in this base over here, it looks like Iori could be in for some potential trouble. He does have units stacked up in here, which is always a good idea when enemies are approaching like this, because they don't know how many units are in there. And potentially there could be, I don't know, like 10 skirmishes in each. I think he can hold 10 in each. That sounds right. I know it's not 5. 5's for towers. But over here, it looks like Iori gonna get some harassment on here and get some damage into these guys here. Villagers are under attack from skirmishers. Naturally, skirmishers having that really low attack, and with villagers having 2 armor already, they only take 1 damage from a skirmisher, which isn't a lot. So it means you can get away with it for a while, unless something ridiculous happens. Over here, Iori trying to get some harassment on to come, as he knows he's probably going to be fast castling at this stage. So the more harassment he can get done there, the better. It generally means that the less knights will be available. Over here, villagers again, not taking too much damage. Do we see fletching yet? Fletching are really important for skirmishers because it gives them a lot of extra attack when you think about it. It's 2 plus 1, so 50% extra attack on the skirmisher. It means a lot. That range upgrade as well is always helpful. People just absolutely love it. Halen doing the best at the moment. This archer over here looks like he's going to get caught out of position. We do have some archers marching across up here. Doesn't look like he went for any harassment on red, but is instead going to be going up for purple. But saying that, he is doubling back around, and over here potentially going to lose some units to these, well, villagers to these units. So let's see just how much damage actually happens here. And there we go. So I've got come up into the castle edge. He's no doubt going to be going for knights right about now. Archers here getting picked off quite quickly, and how's his micro? What were you shooting at there? Were you shooting at one of the skirmishers? And that's why you've got to be careful with your micro as well when you're attacking an enemy that's got a lot of this. If you have the choice, kill off the archers, because of course they do cost a lot more and they're a lot heavier to replace. It looks like we are seeing more harassment over here. Halen is coming in to try and deal with these guys here, and come having those knights out already, so it's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. Windy over here just making sure that his friend is okay. However, these archers are being able to go pretty much unchecked in this base, managing to do quite a bit of damage, honestly. Over here as well, villagers still under a bit of attack. No real foul yet. I can't think I've seen any villagers get killed yet, but potentially starting to look close actually. Some of these villagers are getting really low on HP, especially this one over here. If Halen really wants to, he could probably micro up and one-shot that villager. Jumping back down over here, we are seeing even more damage over here. 2 villagers lost for Windy at this stage. It's not looking good for him. He just does not have the army at the moment to be able to deal with this. We do see the watchtower going up, which is helpful. These units still being able to pick this off. However, this farmer managing to survive as well. Farmer here could die, honestly. It's getting pretty close. And what are you up to? Calm still going. He's sending knights out across the map right about now. Knights are coming in from Cloudy to help out Iori at this stage. Is going to be able to do a lot of damage to that skirmisher mix there. However, these skirmishers are going to be able to pick away at these archers from Iori. Because of the fact they do have that bonus, they haven't got that extra armor upgrade yet, which is really important. In fact, none of them have. Knights as well, completely unupgraded. However, they are knights while you're attacking feudal age units, and that's actually ridiculous. These units are not going to be able to get out through here. It looks like this villager here just got killed off by this wolf. Gonna have to fight their way out, unless there's a hole, of course. And is there going to be a hole? Yes, there is! That's going to be very important for Windy to know, because he could get counterattacked through there quite badly. Right now, we are seeing the defense from Iori and Cloudy doing quite well here. The knights, of course, taking quite a bit of damage from these archers, and the archers taking quite a bit of damage from the skirmishers, so you need to be really careful how you approach here. Lots of flares going down, as both players need their teammates over here to start doing some real damage. Come moving in with these knights, he's going to be able to, again, just soak up a lot of the damage from the knights, because skirmishers just do not have what it takes to soak up damage from anything but archers. Melee units just absolutely stomp on them. But they do have the 1 armor upgrade, which is really important at this stage. Cloudy is going to be hanging out in Iori's base, making sure he doesn't get pushed on too hard, or he will have to help him out. Knights are going towards Windy right now, so going to be able to help him out as well. And let's just do a flick around. No, actually I won't, because we'll probably miss too much if I start flicking around seeing who's in castle list, because it does freeze every time I actually do that, which I believe happens for everyone. Right now it's starting to look bad for Iori, however, he does have a pretty big mass of units up against him here. It does look quite even in the actual scores right now for both players. However, we can see that the BSK and CSI team are taking an advantage right now, averaging out 200 points in front of their opponents. However, it looks like Cloudy is getting a favourable engagement here, going to be able to take out a few of these knights and these units over here, but not going to be able to get away with it. The extra troops come in and they're going to be able to force those knights to just depart out of the area. As we're seeing now, Cloudy microing like a champ and knowing when he's up against a battle like that he can't win. So if we quickly pause it and go over to Dirty, I just want to check if he's seen this tower yet, because this is going to be really important if he decides to attack. No, he doesn't know this tower here is actually here yet, which is really important. So it means if he tries to attack here, Windy's going to have quite a good defensive position on that, which is really important. The wall off is going down for Iori as well. He's double walled this side, he's walled all this section here off. So at this stage, pretty much this is the only area which is really susceptible to attack. Unless, of course, they go through this wall, or they do put a tower up behind his wood source over here. And it looks like we do have Dirty back in the main base here of Red, trying to do some extra damage. However, Tower, again, pushing them off quite quickly. Red having a nice army here to defend. And these knights, of course, going to be able to take care of the skirmishes without too much trouble right now. And Iori, this is really hurting his score, having all this happening at the moment. However, it's not as bad as it could be at this stage. We do see a bit more Palisade going up. Red definitely drawing this short end of the stick here, having so much harassment coming in from Dirty. Come at the moment, it looks like he is having a bit of trouble just by the score. He is in Castle Age, and he's only just putting his second stable up. He has actually got another town centre up, which means he is going to be an advantage from most people. However, we can see as well, Cloudy does have that up as well, which of course is a really interesting thing to see. And the difference between the teams are the fact of what each player was doing. We did see a Chinese, who was Cloudy, go up to Castle Age first, and we did see a Mongol, who was go up first. And honestly, the way that's turned out, it hasn't been too bad. Of course, the Mongol is going to be able to get there quicker if they do use that extra resources they get from, well, not extra, but faster gathering resources they get from wild animals. That's always really helpful. We do see the stable going down for Iori right now, which means most likely we are going to see him go up to Castle Age. We are seeing Dirty go up to Castle Age right now, and Red could be in trouble if he's a little bit far behind here, because BSK Dirty is going to be able to get that range upgrade, the crossbow, elite skirmisher, all those upgrades that are just going to give him his edge over his opponent, where at a stage he doesn't have to outmass as much as he's just out-teching. It looks like we are going to see quite a bit of damage actually here for, well, against Iori right now. Archery range has not been completed and could be taken down if it's not cancelled in time. Of course, this bit of Palisade here is going to have to go down first, but having 10 HP on that it will not last long. And saying that, there we go. And let's hope we see the cancel on this Archery Ranger. We could see a bit of trouble right now for Iori. There's actually a lot happening around the map right now. Red is trying to move out into the base of Green. However, he's got this good area over here to defend. He's got his units up on there. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got the wall off around this side here too, so he should be pretty much safe at this stage. Considering it's a mostly archer mix as well, he's not going to be willing to go past the town center. Maybe able to squeeze past this part here and get in. Then it could be really big trouble for Dirty, but until then, shouldn't be too bad. Watchtower, well, outpost up here as well, going to be able to signal if any units coming, really going to be helpful. I'm seeing a lot of knights out of Cloudy right now actually, and he might just be able to turn this fight over here if these archers can target down these spears without them getting too much damage onto these knights. And of course we are seeing a lot of flares still because, well, I'm assuming that they don't have cartography yet, just because that's just not a generally gotten upgrade in these games until really late. So that's one thing to think about as well. The flares and the teamwork, it really comes down to that, especially if you've not got cartography, because you cannot see what's going on. You've just got to trust your allies' word and know what they're talking about. Again, we do see Cloudy forced out of the area here. These spears are just making it really hard for him to engage. More units over this side of the map here, moving out for Red yet again. However, I do believe we are going to see a Dirty go up to Castle Age any second now. Yes, there we go. And he will be the third to get into Castle Age, I think, off the top of my head. I can't see anybody else who is. Just quickly zooming around. Can't see anybody. And there we go. So Dirty getting up and Mistori going in as well. Means he's going to be able to get those cavalry archers, which are also cheap. He has gone up with the third archery range. He does have that stable out as well, so he could potentially go for some knights in the mix as well. But cavalry archers are generally the way that it's gone. And these units over here still doing a lot of damage. I'm surprised how good Halen's doing here. He's been keeping the pressure on here just absolutely ridiculously well. He's been playing so well in this game. His team must be so happy with him right now. Still in Feudal Age and getting all this harassment on, being able to deal with these knights without too much trouble. And Dirty, we are going to see that crossbow upgrade, aren't we? There we go. And looks like you're switching into cavalry archers right now. And knights as well. Looks like we're going to see a cavalry archer knight mix so far from Dirty. Potentially right now, Windy you are in a lot of trouble if you can't get in. So Windy actually already in the castle age. It looks like I missed that. Halen going up now, which means we are no doubt going to see the crossbow upgrade. He's got quite a few there. However, they are getting killed off at the moment, so we might not actually see it. We might see the elite skirmisher instead, as well as the pikeman. And there we go, Iori moving up with these crossbows, going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, as we're seeing, just picking off these units first, and of course going to be able to pick off those spears before they get too close to Cloudy's knights. Looks like we are going to try and see a small push out of Windy here into a comment base, which is really interesting because he is actually the lowest scoring on his team at the moment. Might be just because he's not getting enough damage done, which just you can see because of the fact he didn't engage in the feudal wars as much. But of course, the points really do lie in this case. You've got to be really careful in team games. You can't just say someone's doing really well by their points. Naturally, it helps, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. We are seeing some pretty good micro, honestly, out of Iori right now, being able to take out quite a few units. And when you have crossbows in this kind of number, knights can take a lot of damage, as we just saw. But it looks like, again, he's going to get pushed on quite hard here, as we are seeing the crossbow upgrade for Helen. And a lot of damage there. And in comes the forces from Windy. Is going to potentially be able to do a lot of damage to these villages. There's just not a lot of defense available right now. Does have the 3 town centers up, but he only has a few knights to be able to try and deal with this. And well, in this kind of mass, like I've already pointed out, knights just do not stand up. They do good damage, and they do have a really good efficiency versus archers. But if you outmass too much, there's nothing you can really do with them. Units over here potentially going to go down as well. However, being moved away from there quite quickly by Calm, doing quite a good game in this sense. He has been really aware of what's going on. In fact, every player in this game so far has been quite aware of what's going on and hasn't lost an insane amount of villages. I think Red lost the most, actually, in this, losing 2 in the feudal war, and that's not a lot, honestly, considering how hard everyone's been pushing. And that villager there looks like he's just going to get out of there. You need ballistics. They just don't seem to be able to curve arrows yet. And losing that villager there, that's too bad. An extra house going down there for Cum. And it looks like here comes the forces of Halen again, pushing in here, doing just an assault by himself. Actually, he's got the Knights of Cum in there. I couldn't see them, actually, on the colours too well from running from the back. And it looks like retreating out as well. So Iori manages to hold off again. How many town centers are you on? Are you still only on the 1? You've got the second up, which is good. Red on 3. How many are we over here? Looks like 3. Yes. Helen, what are you on? You are sitting on 2, 3. And you are sitting on 3 as well. Dirty, what are you sitting on? 1. I think there should be a second one over here. And there's a small blob over here. Nope. Actually, down here, yes, looks like we were seeing everyone on 3 town centers already in this game, which is really interesting to see, mainly due to the fact that, well, they've been all committing quite heavily, so they have had the resources there, they have dedicated quite a bit off to get those extra town centers out, which are really important. And it looks like Windy's moving out right now, could potentially do a bit of damage to Halen as well. He's busy fighting up in this section here, and he actually has been pulling units back, allowing Iori to get some ground here, which should be really damaging. And he's going to be forced to defend on 2 fronts here, which means he's going to have to split his army quite well. We are actually seeing Dirty come in to help with the defense as well. Potentially going to lose a lot of villages here for Halen. He's being pushed on this side. He is trying to deal with the harassment on this side, however, it's just not enough at this stage. We are going to see these knights come in and try and get some damage onto these units. But again, if they're outmassed, there's not a lot they're going to be able to do. However, it looks like the knights will come past and they will go to this town center over here. Again, if Windy can get in here and do some harassment, there's going to be a lot of damage. Dirty pushing in quite hard from this side, and potentially going to be able to take out a lot of villages here, especially if you micro as well. There's 1. Come on, go for a second. 2. And we can see that Windy is reacting quite quickly. He does have a fight down here as well, so he is going for quite a big fight at this stage. And looks like he might be able to take out this army here. However, these knights should be able to deal with it without too much trouble. More cavalry archers moving in this section here from Iori. And we can see Halen actually holding out like a champ. Hasn't lost too much at all in this fight. Being able to hold off all the players here without too much trouble. Of course, having these allies come in like this has absolutely made it great for him. The team is playing so well together at the moment. And there's only about 200 points in the scores as well, looking by averages. However, if you look at the highest scores, it's about 300 points difference. The lowest ones is only about 100 points difference. So there's not that big a difference in this game so far. It may look one-sided, but both teams are definitely in for a shot here. Currently 30 minutes into the game, and it looks like Iori, again, trying to push in and get some harassment. However, we do see Cloudy moving in for some damage right now with Mass Knights. He does have the armor upgrade and bloodlines on them already. Cavalry archers with bloodlines, they do have the armor upgrade and the attack and range upgrade. Still lacking that second armor upgrade on them though for Iori. These units over here, again, only got the first armor upgrade on them. Got all the range and attack upgrades naturally. Potentially going to lose some villagers here, but some quick just thoughts there from Windy, garrisoning this town center quite quickly. Looks like we can see that Dirty is going to be forced out of here, and if he doesn't, he is going to be absolutely baited by these knights, and there will be a lot of damage done. Halen right now having a massive fight in his base. Saying that as well, Dirty has just beat him on the score, which is quite interesting considering Dirty's been behind pretty much all game. Behind Halen, I say. But I just heard a siege workshop going up somewhere. This doesn't sound good at all. Over here, these units look like they will be taken out without too much trouble here. Knights should be able to get onto them and delay them and take out a lot of just really quickly. Over here, it looks like we have some units that are not able to do anything, and just a big fight going down in Halen's base right now. He is playing really well. Both teams playing extremely well. However, Iori and Cloudy are forced to withdraw out of there as they are just in a losing battle at this stage. We are seeing the forward siege workshop right now for Dirty, which means he's really going to start putting the pressure onto Windy, and I don't know if he has an answer for this. He does have a lot of stone right now, so he is trying to get that castle up so he can get out some of those Mangadai. If he gets the Mangadai out, he's going to have an answer for it, but until then, crossbows aren't going to be enough to deal with these knights and battering rams. We are, of course, still seeing some kind of knights in Cloudy's base, but until they are really used to take out these rams, and of course if they're not supported properly, they're not going to be able to do a lot. And as we can see, Halen moving out across this side of the map. We do have cavalry archers from Iori trying to get in here and do some damage. However, it's really starting to look in the favour of Iori and come in this match over here, both having that armor upgrade. Only the first armor upgrade actually on the knights for Halen right now. But nearly boxing these cavalry archers in here, and this is really going to hurt that cavalry archer count. Losing quite a few here, actually. I think I just counted 3, maybe 4 go down. 1, 2, 3. And that is a lot of down cavalry archers already. It is really going to hurt Iori, and I just sped that up there for no particular reason, just because I wanted to see all these units get hunted down, and that's a lot of cavalry archers missing already for Iori, really hurting his score in that fact, and I don't know if he's going to have what it takes to defend this area over here. Again, as well, we are seeing a lot of damage against Windy here from Dirty, being able to put on a lot of damage, losing quite a few archery rangers. About to lose the second one. Castle is going up in the middle of the base. He's going to be in quite a good defensive position, keeping these town centers up, as well as keeping these farms running. And of course, that means Mangadai are going to be out on the way as well. These battering rams going to be able to soak up a lot of damage from those cavalry crossbowmen. Sorry, but again, knights here going to be able to do quite a bit of damage as well. Over this side of the map, we do see a lot of damage happening. Looks like they are going to be able to hold out just. However, the knights just seem to be in the favour of Carmen Halen right now. But the cavalry archers, of course, going to be able to do that little bit of extra damage. The town centre, of course, firing on means it's going to be able to do a lot of damage, however, but it's starting to look really bad for Cloudy, Iori, and Windy right now. These pikemen, of course, are chasing these knights off without too much trouble. Lots of damage happening. We're actually seeing the forward castle go down for Dirty right now. This is looking absolutely horrible for Windy in this stage of the game. We are seeing Cloudy again over in this section, however, losing most of his knights in this engagement. And this could almost just about be GG for Dirty, Halen, and Cum. This game has been extremely good so far. We are seeing Cum move into the camels as well. Of course, they are going to be able to do exceptional damage versus Cloudy's unit composition here, which is pure knights. And we are actually seeing Cloudy go into that camel phase as well. Lots actually being created for him means he's going to be able to deal with these knights really efficiently. However, this section over here, it's starting to look very bad for Windy. He's on his own in this situation. He does have a few knights from Cloudy, but no constant support right now. And it's starting to look like this area over here is going to just hold this one out. Oh, this is going to be a close one. We are seeing cavalry archers trying to micro back here. However, we do see more camels moving in from this section. Castle over here doing a lot of damage. We do see a mangonel out for a Dirty. Of course, going to be able to do massive damage versus crossbows if it needs to. This town center here, it looks like it will go down unless these knights get in here nice and quick. And it looks like they might just be able to defend here. This battering ram should be taken down just in time. Surviving on just under 500 health. And it looks like potentially this mangonel could go down if it's not just defended by these pikemen well enough. And here it comes. This looks like it might be a very cost-efficient engagement actually for Dirty. Losing one mangonel and a lot of knights actually going down for Cloudy right now. Definitely a cost-effective engagement for Dirty. They're losing that one mangonel only. Those rams, of course, would tip it out of balance. Dirty up in this section as well, trying to push out. We are actually seeing a forward castle for Halen right now, and this is really a ballsy move at this stage in the game, actually. a real ballsy move. I cannot explain how ballsy that is, because he doesn't exactly control the area at the moment. They do have a lot of units present, but of course, if Iori and Cloudy could take it back at this stage and just take that castle down before it's done, that's going to be a gigantic waste at this stage. The town center over here looks like it's going to go down to this castle. There is a lot of cavalry archers and knights still in play for Dirty on this section, and it's absolutely looking bad for Cloudy, Iori, and Windy right now. I don't think there's going to be much they can do to take it back. Looks like he has actually moved the forward castle position back. Definitely a smart idea due to the fact that we do see Cloudy moving in with a lot more units, and Iori moving in with these cavalry archers as well. And there we go, we did actually see the castle cancelled there for Halen. Exactly what I said, it was a very ballsy move, but I don't think it paid off. And right now this could be absolutely bad for Windy. Lots of units here potentially going to go down. Cavalry archers, of course, trapping those units in. Knights as well, going to be able to kill them off really quickly. Surprised he actually moved those units there. He was actually getting a lot of damage done. However, that castle, of course, is putting down a lot of damage. And a second castle is up now. It looks like the siege workshop here will be prevented, and if it's not cancelled in time, that is going to cost him resources. Looks like he's just managed to get that cancel off in time. We are seeing Cloudy and Iori push out into Halen's base again, and I don't think he has anyone here to help him defend this time. We do see some Mangonite for coming in to try and help, but it's not a large number. And another battering ram moving in. He wants this town center down. However, it survived everything he's put on it so far. Units over here as well doing quite a bit of damage. Castle going down here as well for Iori. This could be bad for Halen potentially if it goes up, of course, only needing a few more hit points. And there we go, it is up, and the damage right now is going to be down. And Windy going up to the Imperial Age, actually, this could be massive. He could potentially get those elite Mangadai out. He does have access to a lot of good siege. And we are actually seeing a lot of Petards moving in for Dirty here. This is going to be able to do a lot of damage, especially if he decides to target one of the town centers. However, it looks like he's going to be going for these castles. Petards taking a bit of damage. How much damage is he going to get on that castle? Will it be enough to take it down? Petards are hitting it. Castle surviving on only 500 HP right now. Mangadai are getting taken down very quickly. And it looks like we are seeing Iori move up, and they have taken the score lead at this stage. That's starting to actually look quite good for them. If he can loses this army over here, if Dirty loses this, could potentially be very, very bad for the team of Dirty Come and Halen. This push over here, though, is being absolutely astronomical. Cannot explain how well it's doing. Come hitting the Imperial Age as well, so that's both Mongol players up into... Actually, I think it's the Chinese. Yes, both Mongols actually up into the Imperial Age. Going to be able to get that elite Mangadai upgrade, as well as all those extra upgrades like the Bracer, which are going to make them so much more important, as well as Siege Ram upgrades and Siege Onager if they really want them to do damage against mass archers. What are we seeing? We are seeing the double siege workshop come up from Come at this point inside the base here. However, it's still starting to look really bad. We can see Cloudy pushing in from this section over here. Iori just holding out here really well against these cavalry archers. And of course, we are going to see this fight over here. It looks like Dirty is starting to take it though. And this could prove very, very bad for Windy. And the scores are so close right now, I cannot explain just how close this is. Another castle trying to go up for Windy right now in this section. The Knights are trying to push on really quickly. However, this section, again, over here is completely under the control of, well, only Iori now. Because we can see Cloudy is moving out across the map to try and help out Windy. This is where teamwork is so important. This castle has not gone up yet. These villages here are surviving. However, it doesn't look like it will go up. It does have a battering ram on it already. However, a few more arrows and it should be dealt with. There we go. Knights, of course, still under, well, quite a bit of threat here. This town center actually has no one garrisoned in it, so they're actually pretty safe in this section. Villager over here just keeping that damage up. And it looks like on this section here, Halen is still having a lot of trouble, even with Kum's help right now. They are both having a lot of trouble holding this section down from our Iori player, who's doing a lot of damage. He's playing very well. We are seeing another forward castle go up for Iori right now. This one's still standing, doing quite a bit of damage. Haven't seen any Tarkans yet in play, which of course aren't to be expected. Castle did go up for Halen here, so this should be good. And this section over here, again, starting to look absolutely horrendous for Windy. However, the Knights have come in for Cloudy. He has got some camels mixed in there as well, so we should be able to deal with this without too much trouble. Nearly losing this castle, though. And of course, as a Mongol player, those castles are really important, because of course, you do need to have those units out, which are really important. And the Mangadai. Forward castle here, and we do see the forward castle from Halen, again another one going up, forcing them to cancel on this castle here for Iori, and this game has been so back and forth, it's going to be impossible to call at this stage. We do actually have light cavalry being created for Khum, which is not unusual as Mongols. Of course, they do get that extra HP, which is absolutely great at this stage. Cloudy going up to the Imperial Age, so he is going to be able to go for that cavalry upgrade if he really wants it. Should be used also on the horizons. castle as well here for Dirty, which could really just cement his position in, especially if he manages to get this castle here down. However, it looks like he might be forced to cancel on it, as Cloudy does have quite a fair amount of units over in this section here. We do see Halen pushing out with Come again in this section over here. Looks like without the support of Cloudy, Iori was not able to hold it down. We do actually have a trebuchet out for Windy right now, which is really expensive on this side of the map, especially if it gets taken down quickly. This castle here, though, being forced to cancel. P-Tide here as well, getting taken out without too much trouble, and I believe that knight should get quite a nasty shock from killing that. And looks like it might just get away. There we go, killing it as well. And over here, it looks like we are seeing Come move in with a lot of Mangudai. Skirmishes are Iori's hope right now. It's what he does have. And this section over here, it looks like he's trying to take down this castle. And Mr. Iori going up as well. Going to be able to go for that heavy cavalry archer as well as paladins. Definitely on his horizon there, if he has the resources to get it, of course. This castle here might just go down for Dirty. This has been a great game so far. Another castle going up for Windy right now, putting him on a total of 3. He's lost quite a few as well. We are seeing a castle down here for Dirty as well, still creating those P-Tides, of course, trying to get as much damage in as possible. Cavalier has been done for Cloudy. He is going for a damage in this section over here. It looks like Halen is starting to fall behind, potentially going up into the next age though. And we can see as well, Cloudy, it looks like he's only just hitting has hit the Imperial Age. That was weird. It looks like my game glitched out for a second now. I actually couldn't see the Imperial logo. But Light Cavalry, of course, in this section over here, doing quite a bit of damage. Surprised we haven't seen the Hussar upgrade yet. And what else is going on? Am I missing anything insane? No, I'm not. Looks like we are about to see a lot of damage from Come onto Cloudy, though, and I don't know if he has the units here to deal with this. He has got a few Cavalier about, but this is a lot of Rams moving in right now. We are actually seeing Mongols, of course, cap Rams. Then they can go up to the Siege Rams as well. Halen going up to the Imperial Age there, of course, still the lowest scorer in the game, but no doubt doing a lot in keeping Iori's just economy down the entire game so far. Still, again, though, having a lot of trouble keeping this area pinned down. We do have Come coming in again yet to help. However, this section over here looks like it could be in trouble for right now from Come. Cloudy in just not going to be able to deal with this unless he pulls some units back. And of course, pulling some units back, it means he will actually have to leave Windy to deal with Dirty by himself. However, I do believe Windy does have what it takes right now to be able to do some damage. Lots of barracks going up for Cloudy actually right now. I do think he is expecting to see a lot of cavalry being used in this fight. Of course, that means he is going to be able to get out the cavalry. He is going to be able to take out paladins without too much hassle. And a large amount of Mangudai still here, actually losing quite a few villages over here to this light cavalry. Not helpful at all, and it looks like Dirty is still stuck in the castle age. It looks like he is. Let's actually have a quick peek while we're waiting. Dirty, yes, still stuck in the castle age. He has been putting on a lot of aggression, and when this failed, he's in a lot of trouble right now until he can get some more damage on and get up. We are seeing trade getting established for Come Dirty and Halen right now. It looks like we are just having it established right now for Cloudy, Windy, and Iori as well. Surprised there's no markers up on the other side yet. Actually, yes, there is. They are just in the back of Windy's base. But trade being established for both players right now, which is really important. And it looks like Windy's been able to take this back into his favour. And I think right now, if he attacked Dirty, there's not a lot Dirty can do. Being trapped in the castle age up against trebuchets, there's not a lot you can do. This section over here as well, it looks like Halen and Come are starting to make a little bit of progress in this. But Iori just holding out like a champion, managed to get a lot of damage in there as quick as possible. Looks like he is going to be going for the Paladin upgrade as well. We do see Cloud starting to move in with more damage as well. And it's about now we are actually going to start seeing the trash really come into it. Because of course they have used a lot of gold in the fighting throughout this game. Hence the reason we can see the Skirmisher, Halberdier, Light Cavalry, just is so much of them about. Siege Rams, of course, soaking up a lot of damage, getting a lot in there, and of course once you get that Mongol upgrade, they do move 50% faster, I think it is off the top of my head. Dirty again, trying to get some extra damage onto Windy. However, Windy's base at the moment, it's actually been designed really well. He has these castles here defending this town centre, one over here defending this town centre, and one defending this one. So he's done quite well so far, and all the castles at the moment of Dirty are just getting taken out by the trebuchet fire. And because of course still being in the castle age, he's got nothing available to deal with this. More stables going down for Halen, going to be able to just flood light cavalry into his opponent's base right now. Iori just pushing in with as much as he's got at this stage, just trying to take this area here back. Dirty finally going up in age, however I don't know if it's going to be enough at this stage in the game. It does have quite a few pikemen up, but of course if you do have that Pathian Tactics upgrade on those cavalry archers, they do a lot more damage. And of course Mangudai as well do classify as cavalry archers, so they do get those damage increases. And this seems to be where the real fighting's going on, honestly. Cloudy doing quite well here supporting, Iori just doing well hanging back. However, it does look like Halen is just putting in quite a bit of damage with this Halberdier and Elite Skirmisher Wall right now. Doing a lot of damage with this Trebuchet, trying to take out as many of these stables as possible, trying to stop the reinforcement of Iori. And over here, it looks like, again, still losing quite a few units over here to a Dirty. And the economy just so far of Windy, it's been good, but it's just been taking so much damage from Dirty. He's been playing an absolute genius game trying to get that damage done. Another thing to state as well, the wood on the map as well is going to start running out really shortly. There's not a lot left. So that's going to force all players to move into really different locations and be pushing to keep these areas like this. This area here as well, it's going to be so valuable in the late game when it comes down to it. Because of course without that wood you're not going to be able to build trash, you're not going to be able to build farms. And without the farms you have no food count whatsoever at this stage. And of course those markets are going to come into play. Both teams are trading at the stage, which is really important as well. The earlier you get traded up, the earlier you're going to be able to keep massing those really expensive and powerful units. For instance, Mangadai. And again, being able to outrange his opponent like this and outdamage him, it's absolutely ridiculous. Pietard's over here, looks like he is going to be running away with him, not trying to get too much damage in play. And it looks like Iori actually is losing this section over here. Halen doing quite well holding out. However, there is a lot of just unit production buildings over here for Iori and Cloudy. Should be able to hold out against this potentially until all these siege rams and things move in. We are going forward with a forward siege workshop for Halen right now. So he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. We are seeing Windy push in quite well at this stage, doing quite a bit of damage, I will add. He's been killing off a lot of units here. Trebuchets, of course, are going to be able to just mount an absolute, just insane offense against Dirty at this stage in the game, especially considering he has no castles of his own up at the moment because they all got taken down, I believe. Yes, they did, and this could actually be GG right here. Dirty's not going to have a lot he can do about this, and if it becomes a 3v2 game, we all know how that's going to end. But it could be said the same for Iori as well. He's losing this section here really badly. They do have the score advantage at this stage, but it's going to come down to who's got the bigger army and who can hold out better. And as well, saying that, it's going to come down to macro as well. Whoever's got the most resources stashed at this stage is going to be able to do a lot of extra damage. And Iori getting pushed in on really hard here, having to retreat quite badly. This section here, surprised we actually haven't seen anyone move in through this section to try and kill off a lot of units. Looks like we might actually be seeing that quite soon. Skirmishers over here just doing as much damage as possible. Of course, come using those really good Mongol rams to try and do some damage to these town centers. Really important in this section. We are seeing a Mangadai get flooded into this area yet again. However, comes helping out defending it down here, which is absolutely great of him, just being a great teammate in that respect. And I really need a drink. And I think this game should be over soon though, just judging by where it's going. We are seeing a lot of damage to both players. However, this section over here is going to be just ridiculous to try and hold out against, especially with all these troops just moving forward. Siege rams here just aren't going to make it easy at all. We are seeing, though, Windy doing quite a bit of damage. He is going to be able to take out these Mangadai here by the looks of it without losing too much siege, because of course we do know trebuchets are really expensive units. And more siege being pumped out here, and it looks like this could be it for Dirty. He doesn't really have a lot left. He's only on 174 population. Saying that, though, that is actually a lot of population, but if we have a look at it, there's not a lot left around on the map for him. Saying that as well, though, Mr. Iori, not a lot there as well. Still being pushed on really hard. However, we do see Cloudy doing quite a bit of damage. And here comes the Mangonel. This could actually turn if this Mangonel gets a good hit off right now. And Halen is not turning around. Potentially going to be a lot of damage here. Ooh, that is really going to hurt at this stage. And is he going to get another one? It looks like he will. Oh, that is really going to hurt Halen's numbers in this section. I wouldn't be surprised actually if they get pushed back just because of that one Mangonel. Proving just how effective you can be as long as you're playing smart and tactical. And actually, yes, that seems to have actually done it. He's being able to push into this area and being able to take this area back by the looks of it. That Mangonel being far worth its price. They're killing off a hell of a lot of units. These guys over here, it looks like they are moving out to the other side of the map right now. We are seeing lots of light cavalry actually being created by Cum and trying to just get in here and do as much damage as possible. Potentially going to try and wreck the trade there. Units over here as well. It looks like this Caparam will get out of just killed off quite quickly. And it looks like we are seeing Mangadai actually moving from Windy to this side of the map here. They are really trying to take control. I think they do know that at this moment, this is probably the area where they need to be focusing most of their attention on, especially considering Dirty's had so much damage done against him already by Windy. So he's going to come over here, and they're going to try and take the game in this section here by the looks of it. taking this section out really quickly. If we just flick around again, we can see trade is being used by both players quite a lot. Tributes being sent to all players, of course, because it is a team game, and if your ally asks for something, no matter how retarded it may seem, you should probably send it to them, because it generally means they need it. Mangadai, of course, going to be able to take out these siege ramps without too much trouble. They do have good armor, but the Mangadai do get a good bonus versus them, so it is pretty, you know, normal. Surprised we haven't seen any more Mangonels, actually, or even siege rams for this team yet, because, well, siege rams and Mangonels, they can do so much damage in so little time. Siege rams just absolutely just crunch through buildings, and Mangonels, they absolutely eat skirmishes. Not a lot they can do. What are we seeing over here? Looks like they're going off the same resource. Isn't that sweet? Still though, it looks like we are going to see another push out of Dirty right now into Windy. I don't know if he's going to have what he needs to actually deal with this right now, considering all his forces are over here engaging. And he might be engaging in the wrong place as well. We have actually seen the Hussar upgrade there for Iori now. Surprised we haven't seen it for any of our Mongol players yet. Fight is going down at this stage right now, being really dangerous. And moving into this section here, it looks like this area will be cleared for Halen and Cum in a second. However, this elite Mangadai numbers over here, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage, especially sitting behind here. These siege rams and things, they're not going to stand a chance at this stage. Dirty, what are you up to? Anything interesting? You're attacking this area here, but I don't think he's going to have what it takes to really push in. However, we do have the Oniga from Cum right now, so we could see the Siege Oniga potentially there. Going to be able to do a lot of damage, and Oniga's moving in now. Going to be able to do a lot of damage to this late Mangadai and skirmishes if they're not careful, of course. And if they haven't noticed them, I don't think they have, because if they have, they probably will be microing by now. And there we go, we can see that Cloudy did notice it. However, Iori not noticing just in time. And this is still looking like it could be anyone's game, honestly. Section over here, we are seeing a good defense from Windy. However, he's going to be able to take out these Onigas without too much trouble. However, the pikes will be brought in, and it looks like that Oniga will go down. However, the light cap will be sacrificed. In that, of course, that is a worth trade. And Mangadai flying in from this side, going to again try and hold this section down. Onigas from Cum, though, making this really difficult for Windy and Iori at this stage. Skirmishes just will not do it anymore. Elite Mangadai are in danger of being wiped out very quickly. And Windy, of course, doing quite a good job playing on two fronts here. Windy actually might get them MVP for this. Cum doing quite well as well on that retrospective. And Castle Siege Workshop. Thought we might have been seeing another just forward castle out of Dirty, which would have been insane considering we've seen so many. And it looks like they've actually managed to take out all the villagers building this, so it looks like that siege workshop will not go up for now. We do see all these trebuchets still putting a lot of extra damage on here. And again, just trying to put on as much damage as possible. What have we got there? 2 Onigas. And it looks like Iori is getting pushed back here, and I don't think there's going to be a lot they can do about it, because there is actually a massive army over here for Halen and Cum, as well as it's just stocked with everything they need to take out their opponent at the moment. It is going to come down a lot to macro at this stage, and micro to see who's doing well, and who's getting the most efficient trades on their units, plus as well, who's got the units in the right place, because if someone gets attacked right now in their base, for instance, if Cloudy just gets flooded with light cap right now, he could be in a lot of trouble. Looks like these rams here as well, just trying to soak up extra damage. And of course, with every bit of damage that's soaked up by these rams, they will be able to just put out so much extra damage at this stage. We are seeing Halen move in with a great amount of trash here. Cum still moving in with quite expensive units, still using those Onigas and those siege rams, as well as a great amount of Mangadai at this stage. And this has been a great game so far, and I actually still cannot tell who's going to take it. It is looking good for Cum and Helen in the other side. However, we can see that Windy's just doing an admirable job over here, just holding down like a champ. However, this might be too much for him to take. There is quite a big army of Mangadai moving in here. With Dirty's assistance, they could potentially wipe this out right about now. Over this section here, we are seeing a large amount of Hussars moving in, and potentially going to be able to do quite a bit of damage over here, if not acted upon quickly enough. However, the section over here, it looks like Iori is going to be down for a lot of trouble. He does not have a lot of units left. Just judging by it, by the looks of things, he does have quite a few production buildings. However, he doesn't have the biggest economy in the world. However, not many people do at this stage. And Siege Workshop going down, of course, and Iori just having a lot of cavalry archers available to him there. Mangadai, of course, in mass, and these skirmishes, though, are going to do quite well against it. Yeah, I was saying Come and Dirty move into this section here. However, it looks like they will be forced to retreat yet again. And Halen over here, again, still just pushing in. All players over here just mounting a full-on assault into Iori's base right now. If they lose this section here, if they lose this army, it could potentially be it. We can see that Cloudy has gone for the Onega upgrade, which means he is going to be able to deal with these skirms a lot more effectively. And over here, Windy's still holding out, playing like an absolute champ this game. He's been easily the MVP of this match for Windy, Cloudy, and Iori at this stage. Iori pushing in through the side here again. Onega, of course, going to still be able to do quite a bit of damage. And getting some hits in there. And it looks like these Onegas, again, will be able to do quite a bit of damage if they're not careful. Mangudai, of course, are still really acceptable to attacks from Onegas, even though they do get the bonus against them. With some good micro, you can get away with it, but if it's in a big fight like this, you could potentially be in a bit of trouble. We are seeing some siege rams actually moving in from Dirty at this stage, potentially going to lose quite a few units and buildings here, actually. There is quite a big army for Windy, though, so as long as he notices and gets rid of them in time, he should be alright. This section is still there. Iori and Kam look like they are, well, Iori and Cloudy looking like they're actually going to lose this section. There is still only a small army left for Kam and Halen, but it might be just enough to take it. They are pushing them right back at this stage, losing a lot of barracks, losing all these buildings at the front here, and the pushing here has just been absolutely insane from Halen and Kam. They've played such a good game so far, it would be a shame for them to lose it at this stage. Saying that though, Windy, Cloudy and Iori playing so well the whole game, defending this area so well. And it looks like we are going to see a great defense here from Windy and a final push out here by the looks of it. Moving out with a lot of trebuchets, going to be able to get a lot of damage done there. Of course, Onegas as well being taken down just in time for these guys to move in. And Iori pushing into this is a big fight right now. The cavalry archers, however, I don't think are going to be worth it at this stage because there is too many rams and just rams and elite skirmishes at this stage of the game. That's all it's coming down to. Potentially going to lose a few units over here. Onega looks like it will remain safe for now. Trebuchets are in play, which means these buildings here are not safe. You can't just crowd around them. You actually have to push out to take them down. And it looks like the Onega has been lost for Cloudy right now. However, getting another one in play, another 3 Onegas in play right now, means they should be able to deal with this just giant skirms. But over here, Windy pushing in really well. Again, trying to get as much damage done as he can. Pikeman being created. However, not really the best answer at this stage to just a grouped amount of Mangudai in this mass. What do we see over here? Still pushing into this section. Are we seeing what did Green do over here? Did he manage to take out those castles? He managed to take out that town set and that castle. It looks like this could be it for Windy, actually. He's losing most of his economy and most of his buildings in this stage. This section over here is actually going down quite heavily to Halen and Kam, but it looks like Iori might just be able to hold this one out with these hussars. Oh, this is so close right now. I think that Kam and Halen and Dirty might just be able to take it. It's going to depend on how this fight goes down over here and how much more damage happens in Windy's base in that time. Lots of units being killed there. That's a lot of cavalry archers down to those Onegas. And of course doing a lot of damage with them as well. Not getting a fair trade there. But a 2-for-1 deal there for Windy, being able, just absolutely playing like a champ right now. And more Mangudai moving in for Windy. And lots of Siege Onegas still in play for both players. Looks like this area here is slowly being taken back control by Dirty, actually. And this base here is actually taking a lot of damage. However, it looks like Windy is clearing it out without too much trouble right now. Units here again, we see pikemen are being used to try and head off these hussars. However, not doing too much damage because these cavalry archers and Onegas are keeping their numbers down without too much trouble. And it looks like taking out a few units there with that Onega. Potentially going to lose a few more skirmishes here, actually. More stone being sent over to Kam, because of course he does need to keep that castle mount up so he can get those Mangudai out without too much trouble. Massive amount of hussars moving in here for Iori, going to be able to do a lot of damage. And this trebuchet here being taken out without too much trouble. Farm over here looks like it will be killed off for no particular reason, just due to the fact that spite. Cavalry archers again taking quite a bit of damage. We do see the ram still moving in, and this is getting really close. It looks like Iori and Cloudy might just be able to take this section back. Looks like Halen is actually going to get pushed out of here. These buildings just need to go down, and the section is his. Over here as well, it looks like Windy is doing absolutely great over here, holding out, taking down a ton of Mangudai there with that Onega shot. That was absolutely ridiculous. Losing that kind of units, just amount there for Kam, it's not going to be helpful at all later into this game. and pushing out still at this stage, managing to do even more damage. These villagers over here pushing forward. Looks like he is going for another forward castle at this stage, and actually moving up with these trebuchets now. This could be potentially a lot of damage. However, Cum does have some Onigas in the area, which means if these just elite Mangudai stay too bunched up, going to be a lot of potential trouble there. And actually moving back out this side, looks like he's going back to defend, does not want to be part of this at this stage in the game. And it looks like Iori is pushing back here quite heavily. He's going to know exactly what he needs to do at this stage. And I'm just checking the minimap all the time in case I miss a small raid or something, because at this stage in the game they are really important. If someone's just farms get raided or their lumber camp gets raided, that could be a good game at this stage. That's exactly how tense this is. It could come down to just a bunch, like 10 hussars just running into your base and killing everything. I know everyone's had it happen to them, so you know exactly where I'm coming from. Skirmisher numbers here still being quite high for Halen. The just halberdier numbers absolutely being insane at this stage. We are seeing quite a few cavalier at this stage for Iori. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the paladin upgrade, of course, on them. Just make them so much more effective at this stage. And the unit compositions at this stage are just mainly trash and backed by elite Mangudai. Isn't that Siege Oniga now? We actually have Siege Oniga for Windy at this stage, which means he's going to be able to do a lot more damage. I just noticed as well, Cum's actually going up Siege Oniga as well. And potentially going to kill a lot of skirmishers there. That's a lot going down the toilet there. However, managing to take out that one there without too much trouble. Again, killing off a lot of skirmishers, leaving them on quite low health. And this Hussar here actually might be able to kill off another... Looks like he just got one down there by the looks of it. We are actually seeing Cloudy move into the middle of the map, and it looks like he's going to be trying to move in with some champions right now. Of course, champions not the best pick to use against Mangudai, but against units, well, trash units, they're a really good pick to use, honestly, because they do have pretty good pierce armor, they do have quite good attack versus everything, and they don't really have any real weakness to trash. Skirmishers, of course, they do quite well against champions, but when you outmass like that, again, it's still going to come down to the massing and the upgrades. Looks like these Rams over here potentially can start taking down these castles. And Iori moving into this section over here now. Looks like he needs to get another lumber camp up. Actually, it looks like he's run out of wood to start using. However, we can see that we do see Halen pushing out across this side of the map again with the help of Cum. And the Paladin upgrade has been done for Iori, so he's getting quite good trade efficiency here. However, of course, being up against these kind of amounts of halberdiers, it's absolutely ridiculous to try and defend off against that. Siege Ram over here taking quite a bit of a copying by the looks of it from how it is just being constantly stabbed. Town Center is up over here, and again, it's just going to come down to who gets the most map control at this stage. And I think it actually will come down to where the woods are, because like I said at the start of the... well, it would have been like 10 minutes ago now, but what I said was it's going to come down to those woods, and if they can't have access to them, they're not going to be able to build trash, they're not going to be able to keep their farms up, so it might just come down to that. We will see players just starting to play furiously for these woods, like we can see here. Cloudy's trying to get this one here, he's trying to get all this area here into his just availability so we can go there for wood. So if we look around the map, there is not a lot left. We've got this section here, a little bit there and a little bit there. Apart from that, it's all gone. All of it's just been cut down. So it might come to one of those games where we're actually going to see a stalemate. I think I did actually see a Black Forest, where it came down, so it was just one patch of wood in the middle, and there was just the biggest bombard tower fight you can imagine over this just little section of wood, just because whoever had that was going to win the game. That was a known fact. Lots of paladins actually up for Iori right now, going to be able to do a lot of damage. Heavy cavalry archers as well, doing quite a bit. We are seeing Mangudai actually get into Dirty's base right now. He actually does not have much of economy left by the looks of it. However, all these units over here will be killed off by the looks of it, and Windy might actually be able to kill the trade here if he's careful. It looks like he doesn't really have anything to compete against as well. Should be able to take these cavalry archers out as they are streaming in one by one. But again, going to be able to do some serious damage to the trade here if they're not careful. And it looks like he is taking out these units here without too much trouble. Because as we do know, Mangudai are a very, very intense unit to go up against fighting-wise. They don't really have any real hard counter, because we do know skirmishes do go quite well against them. But again, not a lot they can do. And this looks like it could be really bad for Dirty, Halen, and Cum right now. Losing this trade is not what they needed right now. In fact, if they lose this trade, that's going to be it for all of their gold units at this stage. Moving down, of course, to try and take out more trade cards. There are some pikemen coming in, but this could just about be it. It could be a good game for Cum, Halen, and Dirty if that's the case. If all those trade cards get taken out, I don't know if they're going to have what they need to replenish them. Speaking of Dirty, actually sitting on 140 gold at this stage. Not a lot he can do. Looks like he's actually got a relic there, because he can't go quite a bit at this stage. And Siege Oniga there, great movement there, nice and quickly, going to be able to take that out. That looks like it should be enough cavalry archers to try and deal with this. However, again, it is going to come a lot down to the fact if all these trade carts die or not. And these guys here, just of course trying to buy time to kill off as many trade carts as possible, because that's what this attack's really about. It's not about doing damage to the opponent's army, it's about killing off those trade carts. It is actually a massive push from Come and Dirty into this section here. They are going to be able to do a lot of damage to Windy if they do the correct if they do it correct enough. Looks like this section again under control of Windy, Iori, and Cloudy right now. And pushing out quite well. And we actually saw a tribute of 1,000 gold there actually to Dirty right now, which means Halen must be absolutely buffed on gold. Either that or it's just been using Siege for the whole game like we've seen so far. More Paladins moving at this stage, and Paladins in this time of the game, if they get into your base and you have nothing to do about it, they are the ultimate raiders at this stage. If you get attacked like that, there's nothing you can do about it until you get enough units down there to deal with it. You just lose villages, you lose town centers, and then you lose the villages out of them until they're killed off, essentially. We actually see a lot of units in here for Cloudy, again, trying to get a little bit more harassment and using champions. Yet again, like I said, they are a pretty good counter to most trash compositions. And it looks like we're about to see quite a bit of damage here for against Halen. Looks like he's actually starting to get some Shukunus out, which is interesting. I wouldn't have seen them coming, especially when we've got so many Siege Onigas in play and Onigas. And the amount of cavalry archers here is just being absolutely crazy. It's holding it down just really well. It looks like we do see Windy managing to take this section of the game, or this section of the map over here without too much trouble. It does have a massive Siege Onigas there ready for that cavalry archer or skirmisher push. And with the amount of damage that's been done to this trade down here, I don't think Come Halen and Dirty are going to have enough. They do have still a lot of trade carts in play, but losing that many really hurts. And here's exactly what I said. We are going to see those Paladins come in, start raiding, and do as much damage as they can. And now it's going to start tailing the trading carts now, which is really going to hurt. Plus, they can always take down these town centers without too much trouble, especially when there's nothing attacking them. They have 7 armor on their defense against town centers, and they do 18, so there's not really a lot you can do against them. I'm just looking to see if this game's actually, if there's a big fault in either player's play at this stage. We are seeing a lot of Siege Onigas over here, potentially going to be able to do a lot of damage, but it looks like these Hussars might actually clean these Onigas up right now. Losing quite a few units over here to them though, might have just about been worth it. And cleaning up all these Hussars without too much trouble. Surviving with 2 Siege Onigas there, however, still potentially could lose them. Looks like they should be alright, and these units here will again be really hard to push up against. No Paladin upgrade for a Dirty yet, and Windy is just sitting on 35,000 points at this stage. She's been playing absolutely insane this game. Looks like Halen has managed to take this push back, and it looks like Windy has managed to take this push back as well, which means it's been quite interesting. This has been a very back and forth game for both players at this stage. I'm really interested to see how long I've been sitting here commentating this for. Can't go too much longer, I'm sure. There's going to be no resources left anytime soon. And if I just have a quick look around to the woods again, there's not a lot left at all. And it's going to come down to just who has those resources, because you can't use the market forever. Especially if you have no resources like this. If we look at Dirty's resources, he's got nothing. Nothing left at all. He's only on 118 population. We might actually see a good game anytime soon now, just because of the fact the population's so low, he doesn't have the resources he needs to rebuild back up. And I doubt that Halen and Come have them as well, because they've been pushing really hard and really efficiently, but I don't think it's been enough. Iori, Windy, and Cloudy have just been playing such a good game this stage. And here comes a ton of Paladins from Iori into a Dirty's base right now. I think they've noticed that Dirty does not have a lot of units in play, and they are going to try and push him out in this one big push here. This could determine the rest of the game. If Dirty manages to hold this, it's going to be a big loss for Iori, Windy, and Cloudy. But if Dirty loses this, he's out of the game. He can't come back from this if he loses this big fight here. Losing quite a few Mangadai in this fight over here. However, the Paladin's doing an insane amount of damage at this stage. More units moving in for Iori, playing like a champ right now, managing to do so much damage. And these buildings over here, that's just being pushed in on so hard. And I don't think that Dirty and Halen and Come are going to have an answer for this push. I do not think it's going to be possible. Especially if this group of Mangadai here get taken out. We are seeing, again, units being diverted from Halen to try and just help out Dirty down over here. And here comes that massive damage onto these Mangadai like I was talking about from these Onigas. And this might just about be it. These skirmishes, I mean, Help is of course going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, but if they get taken out, and speaking this, it looks like Dirty and Helen and Cum are going to just hold this one. That was way too close for my take. However, they are losing again on this side. They're really having trouble keeping up with this. Both sides of pressure at this stage. It's being really, really hard for them. Windy just streaming in with Mangadai at this stage. He definitely has the resources he needs to keep pushing this. Dirty, again, still really low on those resources. Lots of damage just everywhere we look at this stage. And it's starting to look really bad for just Halen and Dirty. They just do not seem to have the resources and the mass that it seems to take. Pyro's just been pushing in with these paladins so well. They seem to be the most effective unit he's used so far. Mangadai, of course, as well, doing just an absolutely great job. And what are we seeing here? It looks like we're actually seeing champions and sea tramps just pouring into Cum's base at this stage. And again, he's got to have an answer for it. They just do not have answers for everything that's happening here. They're not going to be able to hold all three positions at the same time. There's just no way they can do it. They just do not have enough units in play. And again, saying that, Dirty's down to 113 population. Just absolutely nothing available. Whereas Iroh is just pushing in here with an army that can just absolutely shred most of what we've got in play right now. But again, it's still getting low for all players. No one wants to call it quits yet. Nobody can see the whole map. Nobody knows what's going on with either players. And the trade over here actually looks utterly insane. Could help if they delete off a bunch of these lumber camps. Over this side, though, the trade's starting to look a little bit thin. Not helpful at all. This castle here potentially could get taken down by the amount of sea trams that are actually in play right now. Wouldn't be surprised. And we actually see Halen resign there. That looks like this is it, guys. Cum and Dirty resigning out there. Now, that was an incredible name. Just congratulations to Windy, IR, and Cloudy. I know they'll probably never see this, but that was such a good play from them. It was so back and forth. And anyway, I'm going to get out of here because I really need a drink. And I'll see you guys in the next game.